Trying to avoid regret is the fastest way to guarantee it. That sounds insane, right? But what if I told you this one mental shift is the secret behind billionaires, Nobel Prize winners, and basically anyone who seems to have their life together? Ever found yourself wide awake at 3 a.m., scrolling through your own mental TikTok feed of every awkward thing you've ever said or done? Why does your brain replay that one missed opportunity over and over again? It's because your brain is basically running on Windows XP. It's laggy, outdated, and constantly hitting you with that little pop-up that asks, "Are you sure? Are you really sure?" before crashing. Today, we're going to uninstall that faulty operating system. We're going to expose the regret paradox and give you the brain hacks you need before your own mind hacks you into a state of permanent paralysis. This isn't just about feeling better. It's about making decisions that will change your life. Let's talk about the absolute nightmare that is modern decision-making. Researchers call it decision paralysis, but I call it the Netflix abyss. You know the feeling. You've got 1,000 shows to choose from. You spend 45 minutes scrolling, get completely overwhelmed, and then just rewatch a show you've already seen. Then you feel bad about wasting an hour. Congratulations! You just earned an honorary PhD in regret studies. This isn't just about what to watch. For Gen Z and Millennials, it's everything. Which career path is the right one? Which person on this dating app won't turn out to be a walking red flag? Which of the 50 oat milk brands is the most ethical? The sheer volume of choices is exhausting. Studies on decision fatigue show that the more decisions we make, the worse we get at making them. Our brains get tired just like a muscle, so we default to the easiest option, doing nothing. And doing nothing is the secret ingredient for a lifetime supply of regret. We've all been there, replaying that one missed chance, that one conversation we didn't have, that one risk we didn't take. It haunts us way more than the times we tried and failed. Why is that? The answer lies deep inside our brain's wiring. Here's a shocking truth. Your brain treats the feeling of regret almost like a drug. When you think about what you could have done differently, a part of your brain called the orbitofrontal cortex lights up. This is the same area involved in reward and addiction. When you replay a mistake, your brain is essentially chasing a ghost, the ghost of a better outcome. It gets stuck in a dopamine loop, seeking the reward it missed out on, which is why you can't stop thinking about it. It's a cognitive itch you can't scratch. This isn't just some abstract theory. It's the foundation of massive success stories. Take Jeff Bezos. When he was deciding whether to quit his high-paying Wall Street job to start an online bookstore, he didn't use a pros and cons list. He used what he calls the regret minimization framework. He imagined himself at 80 years old, looking back on his life. He asked himself, in 80 years, will I regret not trying this? He knew he wouldn't regret leaving his job, but he knew he would be haunted by the regret of not trying to build Amazon. Let's be real. Bezos didn't build a global empire just because he loved books. He built it because he hated the thought of future regret more than he feared present failure. His fear of regret was the fuel. Now, this isn't just about building billion-dollar companies. This same mental power has shaped history. Think about Nelson Mandela. For 27 years in prison, he could have been consumed by regret for his lost years. Instead, he transformed that longing for a life he missed into a vision for a future his country deserved. His regret for a divided nation became the blueprint for its freedom. Or, look at Malala Yousafzai. When she spoke out for girls' education, it was because she couldn't stand the thought of regretting her silence. The potential regret of staying quiet was far scarier to her than the danger of speaking up. That drive earned her a Nobel Prize and changed the world for millions of girls. These aren't just inspirational stories. They're proof that regret, when harnessed, is one of the most powerful motivators on the planet. And here we are regretting not ordering fries with our burger. The scale might be different, but the psychological mechanism is exactly the same. We can use it to... So, this brings us to the core of the problem, the regret paradox. The more you try to avoid making a wrong choice to prevent regret, the more likely you are to do nothing at all. And in the long run, psychological studies are crystal clear. People overwhelmingly regret the things they didn't do, far more than the things they did. We regret inaction more than action. Why? Because our brains are fantastic at rationalizing our failures. If you ask someone out and get rejected, your brain says, "Oh well, they weren't right for me anyway." But if you never ask them out, your brain is free to create a fantasy world where you two are happily married with 3 kids and a golden retriever. Your brain is basically a bad rom-com director, constantly rewriting the script with what-if scenarios, creating a perfect movie that never existed. This process is called counterfactual thinking, thinking about alternatives to past events. It's the engine of regret, and it loves an empty page. Okay, enough theory. How do we actually break this cycle and hack our brains? Here are 3 simple but incredibly powerful decision-making hacks you can start using today. Hack number 1 is the 10-10-10 rule. Before making a stressful decision, ask yourself, how will I feel about this in 10 minutes? How will I feel about it in 10 months? And how will I feel about it in 10 years? This simple trick forces you out of your immediate emotional reaction and gives you a long-term perspective. That embarrassing thing you said? You won't even remember it in 10 months, let alone 10 years. That scary career change? In 10 years, you'll likely be more grateful you took the leap than if you had stayed put. It puts small regrets in their place and highlights what truly matters. Hack number 2 is the coin flip method. This sounds stupidly simple, but it's a genius way to uncover your true feelings. If you're stuck between two choices, assign one to heads and one to tails, and flip a coin. Now, pay close attention to your immediate gut reaction when it lands. Are you relieved? Or is there a sinking feeling of disappointment? If you feel disappointed, that's your answer. You didn't really want the coin to decide for you. You wanted it to land on the other side. The coin flip doesn't make the decision. It reveals the decision you've already made deep down. Finally, hack number 3 is regret journaling. Instead of letting your regrets loop endlessly in your head, get them out. Write down the regret, but don't stop there. Write down what lesson it taught you. What would you do differently now? How can that lesson guide your future choices? This transforms regret from a source of pain into a personal compass. It stops being a ghost that haunts you and becomes a map that guides you. In the end, regret isn't your enemy. It's not a sign that you're broken or that you've failed. It's a sign that you're human. Regret is a teacher, a harsh one sometimes, but an effective one. It's your brain's way of telling you what you value, what you long for, and where you want to grow. Avoiding it is like trying to drive while looking only in the rearview mirror. You're guaranteed to crash. But if you learn to glance at it, understand its message, and then turn your focus back to the road ahead, it can help you steer toward a life with fewer what-ifs. So I want to ask you a question. What's the one regret you're still replaying? Think about it. And now, ask yourself, how would your life change if you stopped letting it haunt you and started using it as your compass? Drop your biggest regret breakthrough in the comments below. Let's not just talk about it. Let's learn from each other and turn our past pain into our future power. If this resonated with you, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.